I'm Jordan Fowler, the Chief Executive Officer and Co-Chief Investment Officer at Shaw Circle, and Shaw Circle is a quantitatively driven private investment fund manager. So got hooked on finance at a pretty young age. My grandfather got me into it, and middle school and high school, that was really all I was doing in my free time. And after high school, I kind of had discovered that this was going to be my passion for life, and went out past my Series 65 and raised a little bit of family friends capital with the full intention of starting my first family friends hedge fund. So I think a big part of our value is we use a lot of complex models to simplify the investing process. And what ends up happening is you could invest in the markets and you could experience high returns, but also the drawdowns you would find with recessions. You could invest in bonds and get low returns, but mitigate a lot of those drawdowns. But where you find a lot of private investment firms, their sort of value is in between the two, right? Creating an uncorrelated asset to the market that can have that sort of continued performance. And so we try our best to take a lot of these complex models and tools to be able to deliver that uncorrelated investment return experience. Our first year, 2022, we had a family friends hedge fund, and it was a pretty volatile year, 2022. Market was down 18%. Well, we actually performed about plus 4% that year. With a big part of it is what we did was we took a lot of the excess premiums that you would find on option contracts, and this is really just because these big institutions were hedging their portfolios by buying all of these things to protect them. But what you find a lot of times during recessions is most people hedge at the worst time, at the bottom. And so because of that, we were able to capitalize on that opportunity, and that's why we did so well. 2024's big highlights were really our big quantum computing project. So South Carolina received largest technology grant for $15 million. Our team was actually the first recipient of that grant money. And what we did is we used it to apply cutting edge technology around quantum computing to our family friends hedge fund processes. And what we found is that this emerging technology is going to be transformational for the business. And so after that, we now are on the level of saying, hey, now we've got to go and do this thing at scale, right? So like you said, going from smaller institutions or smaller family friends money to these bigger institutional capital bases. So our focus really right now is continuing to optimize our processes, build out the operations and compliance infrastructure for these institutions, and then going and scaling this business and scaling the technology out. Our main target customer are high net worth, ultra high net worth individuals. Family offices is usually the groups that encompass those types of people. Endowments, foundations, pensions, independent RAs that are pooling assets together. And the reason why a lot of them will invest with us is not because we're hitting some sort of guaranteed rate of return. We're not in the business of guaranteeing returns, but what we aim to do is provide an uncorrelated return. So no matter where the markets are moving or where interest rates are moving or what news is happening and that you're seeing, it's a crazy world, we sort of try to mitigate a lot of those impacts on investor portfolios. And so providing that uncorrelated return experience is kind of what we focus on. It's pretty difficult to convince a bunch of people to jump on your vision, and I'm just glad I found a few people just as crazy as me to do this with. So one of our big sayings is another day, another seed. And the reason for that is instead of doing something every single day to try and see an immediate result, that's what most people live their lives doing. Instead of doing that, what you should be doing is trying to work really hard every day to plant a seed that turns into something a year from now, 5 years from now. You have to take a long-term mindset to building a business and to working on an emerging technology. But if you can just work every single day really hard to try and plant a really good seed and start a relationship with someone or another company, then I think you'll end up having some success in the long run.